I think one of the best things to get embedded in the group leader's mind and then convey down to the people you're bringing is to not have real preset expectations, because every experience is different.
I think it's just best not to have any expectations of a family, because they range. So sometimes it's just one single person who lives in the home and is really shy and doesn't come out too much, or sometimes it's a very loving, welcoming family that will just bring you straight in. And sometimes it's a house that's kept really clean, and sometimes it's not, and it's a little bit dirty.
Think that the family's going to fit a certain stereotype, that's when things are going to backfire on you. You just take them as they are when you get there, and then adjust accordingly. And same thing with the house conditions. Sometimes they've worked hard to try to maintain their home and things have still backfired and they need your help. Other times you see the effect of neglect and abuse.
In many cases you're going to find litter in the yard. Some families don't have regular pickup services, so it's really up to them to put the trash in the back of the truck and take it to a local dump site. Sometimes that just doesn't happen.
Sometimes the septic situation is not always ideal, so there might be, bad things.
Don't go in there expecting one standard family, and don't go in there ready to judge them regardless of what you find. You really have to be able to adjust on your feet as you meet these families. Yeah, definitely as the group leader and each team leader, we make a point of training everybody, all the adults, that they are supposed to set the example for their kids and be role models as far as how to interact with the families. And a lot of it is we give them some real basic guidelines. For instance, to tiptoe into their lives is one of the phrases that we use.
When you first arrive, it's not unpack all the tools, come on, let's go, let's start working, we know what we want to do. You have to spend some time then just to meet with the family, get to know them, get to know their kids, the animals, dogs, cats, and just to understand their family unit.
You walk into their home and they're often feeling pretty humble and pretty embarrassed by the fact that they're asking for help. But there's always something to compliment them about. And very often it's their garden or their view or the big beautiful tree that I wish I had in my yard.
You just spend that time with them to gradually move into their lives, allow them to talk, understand where they're coming from, and at the same time explain a little bit about where you're from. And there's also opportunities at lunch each day. ASP encourages you to have lunch on site with the family.
Sharing food with people is a real basic thing. There's a basic thing in the Bible, that Jesus sharing food with the disciples. And you are there to minister to this family, and passing around a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and looking in their eyes and sharing a story about your childhood is something that they'd appreciate, and then they open up and you get a lot out of them. But on occasion you'll find a situation where the family is not at the house because it's not livable at this point, or they're working and busy and you rarely see them, so you don't get that interaction and that relationship building.
And your job is to repair that particular trailer.
And know that you're there to serve. You really didn't come there to satisfy yourself. You're coming there to serve people. So, a phrase that we have developed that I pulled up, 10 or 12 years ago in my training sessions at the church is, it's not about me. And granted, it's important to have time for the relationship with the family, but you really need to put in a full work day. And the adults the group leader and the other adults need to get that ingrained in the teenagers before you bring them, that, again, it's not about me. You're not here to be on vacation. You're not here to worry about your creature comforts. You're here to be productive. And there's a lot of work to be done in an 8-week window, and there's a commitment to get it done.
Probably the most common work that ASP does is repairing roofs. That's been my experience. Also, if there's usually a problem with a roof, there might be a problem with a foundation. So you'll be repairing foundations on these homes, which means crawling into some fairly confined spaces to dig and place footers.
Gratifying is at the end of the week you're exhausted because you really busted your tail to get the job done and to serve that family that was expecting you to do something for them. So the harder you work, the better you feel. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So make full use of every day. Follow the staff's guidelines of when you should arrive there and how long your lunch break should be and how long you should work in the day.